Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today we're going to be taking a look at this gorgeous 1999 BMW Z3 M Roadster. This Z3M is currently showing just over 65,000 original miles, and if you would like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There, of course, you will also find the free included Carfax report, alongside a long list of technical data related to the vehicle's remaining tire and brake life, as well as individual readings from each panel using our paint depth gauge. But today I'll take you on a quick condition overview around both the interior and the exterior of the Z3, as well as going over some of the more notable features. So starting here on the exterior, of course, the first thing you'll notice is the bright and punchy Dakar Yellow paint scheme. It's a really unique color. I almost think of it like a pastel sort of yellow. It's not nearly as rich as a lot of yellow paint jobs that you'll see on cars. And I think it suits this car really well. It especially suits the era very well, you know, late 90s, early 2000s. It just looks right to me. And I think Dakar Yellow is kind of an iconic color. You'll see it on E36s. And of course, this is loosely based around the E36 M3. So it just looks appropriate. And I think it's perfect here on the Z3M. Starting here, general condition, of course, hood looks fantastic. I know we don't have a lot of bright sunlight, but you can see very, very smooth panels. No dings or dents to report anywhere on that massive hood that covers up the entire front half of the vehicle. But let's move really close to the panel, looking for any dings, dents, or scratches as we make our way back here. To my eye, I don't see any dings, dents, or scratches anywhere down the driver's side of the vehicle. And now we get to take a look at these stunning and iconic wheels. I'd like to call it a 5-spoke. I'm not entirely sure that's what it is because it's so, thick on the center of the wheel. But it's such a nice look with that nice deep offset and that big silver painted lip around the outer portion of the wheel. And again, that bright pastel yellow really plays nicely with those bright shining wheels. And you get that same style here in the front, of course, with a slightly narrower wheel and a bit less offset. But again, when those rear arches come out, that wheel gets deeper, and then here on the narrow front end, the wheels stay narrow. It all just comes together beautifully. And that leads us here to the iconic front end, front fascia styling here on the Z3. Those wide rectangular sharp headlights and those small kidney grills there in the front that all come down from either side on that massive hood panel, following the trend from these massive body lines that carry all the way down the vehicle. Lots of little subtleties on the Z3 that I've always loved. You can see the clear side markers in the front really cleaning up the look. It's nice not having the bright orange, clashing with that pastel yellow. You can see on the bumper cover itself, very few imperfections, only a couple of really tiny rock chips, but otherwise fantastic condition. Now making our way here to the passenger side of the vehicle, you can see the paint on the wheels is a little bit faded here on this side. Doesn't take away from the look, but it is worth noting, as you can see there. Looking here down the side of the vehicle. Again, not seeing any dings, dents, or scratches here on the passenger side. And finally, a rear wheel, again, slightly similar condition to the front, not quite as worn, but still gets that beautiful styling across. Now, here at the rear of the M Roadster, you can see it really narrow, short rear end with these nice wide tail lights. Again, no bright orange lenses back here. It almost looks like a European spec, and I think that's great. See the subtle chrome pull here to lift the trunk. We'll explore that in a few minutes. And the aggressive quad exhaust blasting out from under that bumper. It all looks very sporty. Now, of course, I have the roof down because this is how I believe the vehicle should be viewed. In a few moments here, we'll put the roof up after we look at the interior. But let's make our way there. Opening the driver's door. Actually, first off, let's get a little bit of nostalgia going as I lock and unlock the vehicle. Just one of the best sounds I think I've heard unlocking a car in a while. That takes me back. So, opening it up, door cards in absolutely stunning condition, as you can see. Not a single imperfection. They look amazing. As I move a bit closer, we see those M Roadster door sills, specific for the Z3M. They look fantastic as well. We have M3 floor mats. As I mentioned, this is very similar to the E36 M3 in a lot of ways, and you can drop those mats right in, as this vehicle has done. You can see here the seats. Again, unique to the Z3, really cool seating arrangement. You can see a little bit of wear on the seat back here, just where some stitching has let go. Otherwise, seat bottom, where you'd usually find most of the wear, looks almost perfect. I'm really impressed with how that looks. And the passenger seat, again, also presents beautifully. That's an excellent condition seat right there. So let's make our way inside. Now I'm about 6'4". As you can see, I can still fit in this car. I have driven these multiple times and they are a true blast to drive, but let's waste no time in firing it up. No push button start here, old school key. That straight 6 fires right up, sounds great. So looking here, first thing, as I'm sure many of you would like to know, the dashboard is free of any cracks. Looking detailed all the way across there. Nothing to be seen, no shrinking, cracking, or peeling up. It all looks fantastic. That's a great thing to see. Making our way a little bit lower, you can see those center vents all working well. All of the adjustment points work. And you can see here in the gauge cluster itself, beautiful, iconic, late 90s BMW design with those very simple and iconic gauges, the chrome trimming, the M logo just there, and of course only 65,000 miles. It's a really nice find. The wheel just ahead of me here, you'll recognize from the E36 M3 as well. Nice big center, perfect grips all the way around, nice and thin, great steering feel, nice and heavy. And you can see here the M colored stitching holding up beautifully all the way around the interior of the wheel. And that meets at the bottom here to present you the iconic M badge that we see on the exterior. A little bit lower here, we do have a Sony head unit currently in its demo mode just there, showing off some of the lighting features and such, but that works very well. A little bit lower, we have our climate controls and some basic information gauges. You have a clock, you have your battery voltmeter, and your oil temperature as well. These are one of my favorite things about the interior, those chrome trimmed circular pod gauges and the climate controls matching their style. I just think that is lovely and looks so iconic. A little bit lower, you have a power outlet, you have your heated seat controls, AC and recirculation controls. You have your power top controls, but we'll touch on that in a few minutes. You have your traction control and passenger side heated seating. Now, of course, here in the center, we have the 5-speed manual transmission. Beautiful M Sport knob, as we can see, trimmed in chrome to match the rest of the interior perfectly. Shifts smooth, nice short throw shifting, absolutely lovely. You can see your window controls on either side just there. Now, last thing here in the center, you have a couple of cup holders that can accommodate just about anything you need. You have a change holder and a small storage tray / ashtray just there, but it does not appear to have ever been used as an ashtray. If you know about BMWs, you know the smell that this car you would expect it to have. It has it. It smells like a well-maintained BMW interior, because that is a very specific smell that I think a lot of enthusiasts will be familiar with. So next up, I'm going to step out of the vehicle with the roof up so we can take a look just there. All right, so now looking at the Z3, it has transformed with the roof up, and we can take a quick look at the condition. The roof is in very nice shape as far as the fabric goes here on the top. Looking at the rear window, it's free of any, major, hazing or cracks or splits. It all looks nice. Slight wrinkle here, but I did just have the roof stowed away, so it's very likely that with the sun cooking on it, it will work itself smooth. You can also see all the stitching has held up all the way around. It all looks great. So when I mentioned the power top controls, this roof is currently lightly changed to be a manual operated roof. The power top motors are known to have some problems, and it is so easy to just set it to manual, disconnect that from the linkage, and now it stows away in a second, and it's as reliable as your arm, because all it takes is one arm. I'll show you here. I already have these latches popped on either side. I will just grab here right in the middle, and just like so, the roof is now down. Just from a style point of view, I like to close those in once it's down. Then you drop your windows and you are absolutely perfect. I'll show you that. They both work perfectly fine. Automatic operation on both windows. And now we're back to roof down. If I wasn't filming, that would take, I would say, about 5 seconds, and it will always work. So personally, I think it's a great solution. But next up, before we wrap up here, let's take a look under the hood at what powers the Z3 and what puts the M in M Roadster. I'll see you there. All right, so now we're under the hood of the Z3M. As I mentioned, Massive, massive hood on this vehicle. It covers everything ahead of the doors all the way to the front of the bumper. All looks very nice, and we'll take a look a bit closer here at what powers the M Roadster. This is a 3.2 liter straight six that you will know from the United States spec E36 M3. Produces a little bit over 240 horsepower, which, being in a vehicle so small and lightweight, it actually feels fantastic. I know they'll tell you the European spec E36 M3 motor is so amazing, but I've always thought this was just a fantastic powertrain and fit very nicely in this car. You can see the strut tower brace that carries across over the top of the motor in really nice condition. That looks fantastic. Engine itself, very, very clean. All the painted portions around the engine bay look great as well. And you can see a lot of space here, especially if you had, let's say, an intake installed in the vehicle. That whole black plastic mass there would go away, and this would be a very spacious engine bay. You can see easy access to your steering shaft just there. I can easily come over here and service reservoirs. I can look all around the engine bay, pop this strut tower brace off, and you have uninterrupted access to almost the entire motor. For a nice, slightly higher level sports, roadster like this, I think it's a very approachable powertrain. And it's, for being such a small car, it has a really spacious home there in the back. So I'm very impressed with this motor. Now, lastly, as I mentioned before, this nice little chrome pull for the trunk. Push it in, lift up the trunk, and you have a relatively spacious trunk for the vehicle size. It is very short as far as being from the bottom to top. However, it's quite wide, and it drops a little bit low. And also, it's not going to change depending on if you have the roof up or down. As you can see, unlike the Z4 and other Roadsters, it doesn't take up that space depending on if it's up or down. This will always stay the same. You don't have to worry about your luggages or a luggage partition or anything of that kind. As you can see, drop it down gently, latches nicely into place. So if you have any further questions related to this stunning BMW Z3 M Roadster, please reference the listing at alphacars.com, and there you will find all of the relevant contact information. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.